let's talk about this story here. Just the latest example of Peter Darker and their inability to. They don't know what the fuck to do with this character. So they do everything that Peter did, like all of Peter Darker, all of his villains are like old Spidey villains. We know what his name is. They call him Spider-Man. His origin is literally the exact same of what Peter's origin story was in the Ultimate Comics. They don't know what the fuck to do with this character. Why? Because he was only created to be a black Spider-Man. Look it up. Don't take my word for fucking anything. That's what it is they did. But Peter Darker, now it has been revealed when he did end up in that out of that Venom Carnage symbiote shit, he actually looked like Venom before. And this is covered a preview for Dark Ages number 6. Reveals what Miles' original Venom symbiote costume looked like before it came infected with Carnage. In this preview, Miles Morales is sitting around a fire and telling the Marvel Universe characters who rescued him and how he ended up in a Venom Carnage symbiote suit. Miles says that he first met Venom shortly after the electricity went out in the Dark Ages series. Things worked out for a while. He continues up until Carnage also attached himself. So he has this kind of dual symbiote thing going on. The suit looks relatively similar to Peter Parker's symbiote suit in the past Spider-Man runs, though Miles comes with a hood and some extra white markings. So you put on a hood. This is out again. He's literally, again, guys, I know y'all. First of all, I can't say that I know you like Spider-Man because you don't. You like the idea of black Spider-Man. So that's why you like Miles Morales. You don't actually like the character because there's nothing from the character that you haven't already seen. So what they did was they do this all the time. They give him Jordan 1s. They give him a taper fade. They give him a hood to try to differentiate him from some of the things. But again, even his powers, whether it be with what we saw in a Spider-Woman or Spider-Man Unlimited with the invisibility or the Venom shit, even his powers aren't original at all. He's literally just black Peter Parker, which is why I call him fucking Peter Darker. So now he has a hood, and you can see it here and how he looks. It's not blown up, but it's just fucking the symbiote suit with a hood. It's just literally Spider-Man Venom with a hood. Now look, I get it. It's a fucking symbiote. Eddie Brock is not the only person that Venom, though he may be most associated with, is not the only person that he's attached himself to. Hell, it was Spider-Man that when we first saw him. It was Peter that he briefly kind of took over before he went and attached himself to someone else. However, this literally looks just like Peter Parker's Venom with a hood. That's it. Look, guys, and there he is right there with both of the symbiotes there. There is nothing like, all right, so what they're doing right now with this character, okay, and you know they're giving him all these what ifs. So who has he all had a what if with? I know there's like 5 or 6 total. There is Wolverine. There is Thor. There is, who else was it? Was it Doctor Strange? Was Doctor Strange like was it one of them? Captain America, and who else has he been? There's someone that I'm missing, but he's been right now because they're really trying. I think it's because they're gearing up for possible obviously another Spider-Verse movie, but also possibly some live action stuff that they're going to do with him. So they're really trying to have him catch on, and they're just throwing shit at the wall, hoping that it sticks. So yes, Falcon is so he's been all of these different characters. What he's doing with a series of what ifs, and he has somehow, even though it's not selling worth of them, they're on issue like 36. Clearly that's a write-off of Miles Morales Spider-Man, and he's appearing in other various books. They don't know what to do with him because he's not sticking in the comic books. As I've said before, He's a character that normies love because they like the idea. And remember, they only see legitimacy in classically white characters. So they love the idea of a black version of a white character in Spider-Man. So normies Twitter normies especially, will cosplay the character. Instagram normies will cosplay the character. Or what they'll do is, stan accounts, stuff like that. But they don't actually really like this character because they don't buy his books. This is not my opinion. They just don't buy the fucking books. They don't sell well. They never had. They'll have a quick burst, like maybe in the first issue or something like that, and it'll fall off a fucking cliff because nobody's goddamn interested. It wasn't interested when he was in the Ultimate Universe when they killed Peter Parker, and they're not interested now when they brought him into the main universe. Nobody's really interested in this fucking character. They just like the idea of him. So I don't know who he's gonna be. But even in this other story, right, where it's funny how they're talking about a Spider-Man villain in the new Miles Morales Spider-Man. Yeah, in issue 36, Rhino, who was one of Peter's original villains, is there, and now he's getting this whole like new version of him. All of his notable villains are even just Peter Parker's old villains. Again, there's nothing from the character that we haven't already seen. But you give him a taper fade, you give him darker skin, give him a taper fade, give him some airbrush, some shit and the graffiti, and some Jordan 1s, and voila, Peter Darker. Fucking boring. These guys are talentless hacks with zero creativity. Let them die. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.